Have you seen those T-shirts women wear when they're pregnant? The ones that say baby under construction? They always make me smile because they're right on the money. After all, that baby is being constructed and growing even though you haven't been able to see his little cherub face yet. Then that baby comes into the world and you spend the first 10 years of life interacting with him, teaching him, loving him, and disciplining him. Then what I call the hormone group years, ages 11 to 19, hit, and you're blindsided by the metamorphosis from child to teenager. What has happened to your sweet child to transform him or her into the alien creature you're now interacting with each day? The son whose language skills have dwindled to the occasional grunt. The naive daughter whose complexion was so perfect that she could have been a model for an Irish Spring commercial. Ah, yes, I love it too. But whose skin is now best suited for a Pizza Hut commercial. A son who no longer wants kisses and hugs from you in front of his buddies and wants you to walk a block behind him. A daughter who calls you from the city jail because she's been arrested for shoplifting. A son who tells you to go to H-E double hockey sticks when you tell him he can't use the car. A daughter who's a professional at texting, door slamming, and fighting with her sister. A son who refuses to help out around the house anymore and gets mouthy when you remind him to, or worse, ignores you. A daughter who used to be outgoing but now seems sad, cries a lot, and wants to be alone. A son who got a DUI when you didn't even know he was drinking. A daughter who sleeps until 3 p.m. every Saturday and then wants to go out with her friends for the evening. It's easy to react. All it takes is opening your mouth and letting something spew out before you think. Things like, "You are never going to drive again. Ever." But can you fulfill that promise? What about the next time you're in a bind and you need your son to pick up his little brother from soccer practice? "Talk to me!" That demand just about guarantees a teenager's mouth clamping shut. "Young man, you will never talk to me that way again. You're grounded for life." But are you really ready to take that statement to the mat? For a lifetime? What about when he's 40 and still hanging around the house, burping and leaving pizza crusts by your couch? It's about time you got out of bed. No way are you going out with your friends. You've got a list of chores as big as a mountain to do at home first. But then, who gets to deal with the sulky, door-slamming, if looks could kill personality for the rest of the afternoon and evening? You do. So, did you win after all? So you've got a few zits. No big deal. I did too, and I lived through the experience. Think back a moment, parent, to when your parent said that same thing to you. Was the first thought that came to your head, "Well, that was certainly helpful. I can't wait to follow through on that advice"? Or was your thought more like, "Wow, they really don't get it, do they? Talk about being on a completely different planet." It's not your grandma's world. Today's children are growing up faster than ever before. Their world is not the world you grew up in, and it's certainly not your grandma's world. Your teenager is facing issues like cutting, drugs, depression, suicide, terrorism threats, an uncertain economic future, and anorexia on top of all the things teenagers have traditionally faced for generations: peer pressure, hormone changes, mounting homework, life stresses, preparation for their life's work, worry about getting into college or serving in the military, etc. The growing rate of deaths of 11 to 19-year-olds through suicide, drunk driving, and drug overdose is a sober reminder that many of today's hormone group are simply overwhelmed, and they don't know where to turn. Here's a scary thought. A 17-year-old kid can do anything she wants. She can drive a car legally. That means she can get to a lot of places you might not want her to go. She can hang out with kids you don't know. Can she drink? Of course. All she needs is a fake ID saying she's over 21, and she can easily get that online. Can she do drugs? Obviously. But my question is, if teenagers can do all these things, then why do so many kids not do them? Why do so many teenagers choose not to drink, not to do drugs, not to sleep around, and not to stay out later than their agreed-upon curfew? The answer to that question is what this audiobook is all about. You see, attitudes don't happen overnight. They build up over time.